Welcome to 15 Minute Theatre, the only review show that squeezes a whole production into 900 seconds. The date is the 21st of March 2018, and we've just been to see Network open the house. Yo, yo, Vic.
Yo, yo. Is this our new language?
Yeah, I thought we'd get down with the kids.
Yeah, so down with the kids.
So down with the kids. How are you?
I'm alright, thanks.
Yeah?
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah.
Did you get down to business?
Sure. Let's do it.
So we went to see Network at the National Theatre, at the Littleton Theatre in the National, I should say.
Yes.
Which is ironic, because it's not a small theatre, is it?
It's not a small theatre, but it's not their biggest, is it?
I don't know.
I think the Olivier's the biggest, isn't it?
I think you're right. Anyway, shall I tell you a bit about it?
Yeah.
All right. It was written by Ian... Oh, no, it wasn't. It was directed by Ian Drysdale.
Yeah, that guy.
It was based on a Paddy Chayefsky film.
I'm really enjoying you giving me some information about this.
Paddy Chayefsky film. And it was adapted by Lee Hall. I'll give you some notable actors, shall I? There's only really one notable actor really to
No,
talk
there was
of.
two.
Go on then.
There's Bryan Cranston
Yes.
of the Breaking Bad fame.
Uh-huh.
And Michelle... Is it Dockery? Is that her name? Of the Downton Abbey fame.
Right.
Or as my friend called her, that lass from Downton.
And it's running into the 24th of March 2018.
Yeah, so you better hurry up.
Hurry
Get
up
a wriggle on.
Can see it quick, even though it's sold out, I think. Right, do you want to give us a synopsis?
Okay, I think it's quite hard to do without giving too much away. So basically, Bryan Cranston is the main dude. He is a anchorman for a network that's not doing very well, and he goes a bit nuts on the show one night and gets fired. But then it turns out that him going a bit nuts actually got really good ratings, so they get him back. And then he just continues to get more and more nuts and say quite crazy things on the telly. And that's basically it.
Okay.
There's other stuff that happens.
I thought that was pretty good. Makes me want to go and see it all over again. All right, so just going to start off with first impressions.
Yeah.
All right, so it looked amazing. I mean,
the set was great, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So when we came into the auditorium, there was when you bought tickets, you had a chance to buy tickets on the stage, and on the stage to one side there was a sort of restaurant area where punters were sitting, and there was a kitchen. You could see a kitchen at the back.
All right, Del Boy, what do you mean punters?
Punters.
Punters.
Yeah. Get down with the kids, don't I? I don't think the kids say punters.
I don't think the kids will be listening, Vicky.
No. So at the back there was a kitchen, and they served them like a multi-course meal throughout the course of the show, didn't they? So that was going on one side, and then there was a big screen in the middle, which initially wasn't. Was anything on the screen initially?
No, not really. No. It was basically set up like a TV studio.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
So there were people like walking around getting the set ready for the TV show to go on air. There was a big countdown clock. You could see people in makeup.
And they used cameras and stuff throughout the thing. So a lot of the time, when you could either watch the actor or you could watch them being filmed.
Does this come in the first impression section?
No, not really.
So there were cameras set up on the stage, ready to go, weren't there?
Yeah.
And there were like crew walking around, getting stuff ready. The waiters taking orders, all that kind of stuff. So it was quite busy when you went in. There was quite a lot to look at.
It was a good vibe. It was really energised us for the start of it. Okay, and then what did you think? Did you like it?
Yeah, I really liked it. I think Bryan Cranston was amazing.
Yeah,
really.
And he played the news anchor, didn't he?
Yeah, he
kind of went off the rails.
Was incredible. Where I'm sure we're going to get more into performances. I thought it was a really interesting way that they used the set. I've never seen anything quite like it.
Yeah, it was. It's almost like, I mean, we were both at theatre, studied theatre at about the same time, Well, exactly at the same time because we were at the same university.
Yeah.
So, multimedia was being bandied around all the time, and I think this was one of the first times that I've seen it done properly.
Really well.
Yeah.
So basically, because a lot of it was set in a studio, they had some sort of cameras that were set up to film as if they were in the studio filming the news, and then they had a couple of Steadicam operators who were walking around filming stuff around. So you could sort of either choose to watch the action on the stage or watch it on the screen at the back.
Yeah. And they even went and filmed outside at one point, which I thought was great.
Yeah, which I thought was so well timed because they walked. A couple of the actors walked from outside being filmed, and then they into the stage and into the restaurant, and it was
seamless. And that was brilliant. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And I did. I liked it. I think my major beef with it, if I'm honest, it's a 2-hour play, and they didn't give us an interval,
which is a bit mean.
And I just don't understand why they didn't. I can understand keeping the momentum going and stuff like that, but I don't think it would have lost anything by us having a break. And I rapidly started losing interest.
Did you?
Before the last half hour. Tell you when it lost it for me.
Yeah.
Some of the tertiary characters, I like to call them, or secondary
the
characters.
non-main players.
Yeah, there was this whole subplot about this guy having an affair.
Yeah.
And there was this whole speech with him and his wife, and it was like, I'm so bored of this. I'm just not interested.
The affair was important because it related to the news network. It did, because the deal was sort of brokered through the start of the affair, wasn't it? But maybe we did need to see the scene with his wife.
I found that, so that kind of switched me off really. So I found it very hard to engage. Saying that, every time Bryan Cranston was on the stage, he was just remarkable. I was really impressed with that.
He was amazing because he had this ability to switch from being, so you're watching him on stage, he was talking to the audience, to being on camera and having like little aside and putting little faces. He had like this really amazing ability to switch between being a theatre actor and a film actor.
Which not all of them did.
No, not all of them did. He was so good at it.
Yeah, I mean, there was one guy we both said who was, for me, a bit unbearable, really. I mean, it was just too over the top.
Yeah.
But
I think he was the only one that really stood out as not being up to scratch.
The rest of them I quite liked.
Yeah.
Although I did find his best mate, Bryan Cranston's best mate in it, a little bit of a non-entity as well. He didn't really do anything for me, but I don't know if it was because every time Cranston was on the stage, he kind of sparkled with a charm that you wanted to watch.
Yeah.
It was very watchable.
He was amazing. He was absolutely amazing.
And the message was great, and I loved the story.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, maybe as well, is I've seen recently a film called Christine, which was
Christine the Car, the Stephen King film.
I'm afraid not. It's about a woman who was on TV in the 70s.
This sounds rubbish compared to
news anchor who committed suicide live on TV.
Oh, okay, I take it back.
Yeah. So, it kind of had similar overtones to that.
Yeah.
I think if I'd had an interval, I might have recharged myself, but I just started to lose interest.
You drifted a bit.
Yeah, and I was desperate for it to end by the end.
Well, I didn't fall asleep, which for me is quite a pro.
That's always good. Okay, so what about staging? Well, we kind of talked about that, really.
Yeah, there was one thing that, even though I said it was really clever the way that they used cameras and the screen, sometimes I found it a little bit distracting.
Yeah.
Because there were cameras, there were two Steadicam operators that were walking around. So sometimes you end up sort of watching them a little bit and not watching the action. And sometimes you didn't know whether to watch it on the stage or watch it on the screen. And when I was watching it on the screen, I kept thinking, I should watch it on the stage because I'm at the theatre, I should be watching the stage.
Yeah.
But then I can't see... there was one bit where Bryan Cranston cried.
Yes.
And I wouldn't have been able to see that, really, if I was watching it on the stage.
It was quite nice to see a massive face of the actor, because you could really see the micro acting going on. Oh, I'll tell you what I'd really loved as well. So there was a scene where the two guys, the man and woman were having the affair.
Yeah.
And they went into the restaurant,
Oh,
and then the restaurant obviously just changed into them being at home.
Yeah.
And they started having sex right next to all these people who were sat on the stage. And they were being filmed.
Yeah.
Just
it's a bit awkward, isn't it?
Yeah, it was really funny.
I don't know what to do here.
And there was a lovely bit where, Bryan Cranston got in the audience and stuff like that. That really lifted it.
They really involved the audience
really
well. There was a warm-up guy who was getting us to shout stuff and applaud.
Well, I wish they'd involved us with a bit of ice cream. Or maybe a drink.
You always want an interval, don't you?
I don't usually care about an interval, but I just think it was too long
Basically,
to go
James
without
just
it.
really wanted an ice cream and he couldn't get one, and so he's going to down-rate the whole play.
I thought what was nice as well, there was a bit, just talk about, I thought the costumes, because it was kind of set in the 70s, but
Yeah.
it wasn't really styled in the 70s, was it? Because it had flat-screen TVs and, you know, the suits weren't 70s
I'm
suits.
pretty sure I saw a pair of flares.
But it was quite subtle.
Well, I guess they're like business people. Business people wouldn't have been walking around with 70s
You go and
glamour.
look at business people in the 70s, they were not wearing those sort of clothes.
Well, I don't know. Maybe
Anyway, I did like...
they're being picky.
There was a bit where Bryan Cranston had his pyjamas on.
Yeah.
And he went AWOL.
Yeah.
And when he came back, all the bottoms of his pyjamas were dirty.
I did not notice that.
I thought it was a really nice touch.
Oh, it was clever, wasn't it?
Yeah, clever.
Oh, do you know what else we should point out as well?
no.
At the top of the screen, there were 4 guys who were doing all the music.
Yes.
So
And
there was doing.
it was like incidental music a lot of the time, but mood music as well.
And there was a guy hitting something with some sticks.
A drum, Vicky.
Hitting some sort of drum machine with some
Yeah.
sticks.
They were brilliant.
Yeah, that was
I really
good,
like
wasn't
that. Okay, any standout music moments?
Yeah, there was one bit where Brian was having a particularly long tirade, and so he was moving around the stage, and the cameras were following him, and then he stood in front of the screen.
Oh yeah.
And then as he stood in front of the screen, you suddenly had like a sort of...
You had an echo, a ripple effect.
Yeah, like loads of images of him behind him and like moving his hands and shouting, and that was really clever.
And there was slightly, because it was a slight delay on the camera,
Yeah.
you could see his hands go up.
Yeah,
I suppose
really
for me was where he just had a breakdown and they were filming him and, you know, he had tears in his eyes and he was lying down and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I thought that was really powerful.
Yeah.
And I just want to also give a special mention to, I should really get his name.
Oh, there was
The
another guy
who
we really
played
liked.
Frank,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah.
Let me see if I can find...
He was good. Michelle Dockery, I thought, was excellent. Is that how you say her name? Do you want to check that?
Oh yeah, now I've opened the programme. It costs like £8.
We're so professional. I have so expensive programme, but there's some good stuff to read in there.
But you can't find anything.
It's quite glossy. Gives you some facts. Tells you how many people watch the Beatles on the telly, stuff like that. It's down here. His name is this guy. It's this guy. I can't say it. You say it.
Frank Hackett. Tunji Kassim.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
was it
he was
Michelle? Yeah,
brilliant.
Michelle Dockery. I was right.
Dockery, yeah.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, and he was really charming to watch. I thought he nailed that character.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it was a large cast because they obviously had all the crew and people running around.
Yeah.
So, and hats off to it. It was a remarkable production. I loved it. But I wish I needed a break.
You just
I know I keep going on about this, but I think to
James
digest...
can't concentrate for more than 10 minutes.
But I just think to digest the information and stuff.
It was very full on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's for me. All right, shall we take a break?
I think you need one.
And then we'll come
James'
back.
face is dying for real.
All right, so we're back. I'm going to keep rolling out this terrible feature.
The comfort clock.
The comfort clock.
I'm really not sure it's a winner.
I'm going to bring back the water thing if this doesn't work.
No, we're not bringing back the water thing.
Oh, well,
we
I
can
was
just,
thirsty
we can just
today.
talk how comfortable. We can just say how comfortable it is. We don't need a clock. Well, let's do the clock.
We'll do the clock.
Okay.
All right, so what do you think of the Littleton Theatre as comfort?
National Theatre is one of the better theatres for
Yeah.
comfort. And one thing that it's clearly really well designed in that there are no restricted view seats.
Yes.
Which
It's good.
Is
It's
good.
fair.
Yeah. So there's no
Because
pillars.
we're cheap and we always probably end up buying those.
Seats are comfortable. They're wide enough.
Yeah.
I'd give it an 11 out of 12.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to mark it down a bit. I'm going to aim for a 9.
Why are you marking it down?
Because...
Because you've got such massive legs.
Now I started to get uncomfortable because I've been sat there for too long.
Was it because you didn't have an interval?
So let's meet halfway and we'll give it a 10 o'clock.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty high though.
Yeah.
Great. That feature is going. Right. Okay, so let's get on with the scores. Okie dokie. So I think you can start this week.
Oh gosh, the
So
pressure.
we're going to start with performances.
Okay, on the strength of Bryan Cranston being so
Do you realise we've said
incredible.
the name Bryan Cranston about 200 times
Well,
on this podcast?
do you know? Have I told you about if I get a dog and a cat, what I'm going to call them?
No?
So if my cat's going to be called David Lynch and my dog's going to be called Bryan Cranston. I've thought about this for ages. The chance of me getting a dog and cat is incredibly slim.
Oh,
But,
you might get a cat before you know it. Right.
Yeah. So on the strength of Bryan Cranston being utterly amazing,
Yeah.
Michelle Dockery being really good, the other guy we really like, everyone else being good, there's only one guy that let it down. I'm going to give it a 10.
You're giving it a 10?
I'm giving it a 10 because he was outstanding.
Oh, my God.
He was outstanding.
He was outstanding, but, God, I can't give it a 10. I was thinking about an 8, but I'm going to go 8.5.
Okay.
And that is generous. I would have usually done an 8.
And James hates giving half points because it makes the maths harder.
It really does. Okay, so staging and technical. Well, look, I am going to give that a big fat 10.
I'm giving
can't criticise it.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 10 as well. It was so...
I mean, my only thing is, I think... Do you know what? I think if we'd been eating,
Yeah.
I don't think I'd have needed to have that interval.
So basically, you were saying you wish we'd bought the more expensive tickets and
I
gone
do
for the
now,
meal on
yeah.
the side of the stage.
Yeah. I think that would have been
But
quite nice.
if we'd have had... But
It
they
wouldn't
wouldn't
have
have
been
had
the same experience.
No, it would have been different and we wouldn't have maybe seen things clearly because we wouldn't have had a good
Yeah.
shot of the
Fair
screen.
enough. All right,
But we would have had food. And you could have had some ice cream.
Right, narrative, plot, music.
Music, brilliant. Plot, really good. Narrative, maybe a couple of bits were unnecessary.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it 8.5.
Okay. And I've given it an 8.
Okay, so we even out your half a point to make it easy for you.
Yeah, only because I thought it dipped towards the end. Originality. Well, it's based on a film, and I know we're not allowed to mark it down for that, are we?
Well,
It's more-
you can, but I think it's... I mean, I haven't seen the film.
No, I
but
haven't.
think the staging of it was so
It wasn't an original play. It was a nice concept. All right, it's another 8 from me. I think 8.5.
See, I'm giving it a 10.
You're giving it a 10.
Yeah, I think I like this more than you.
I think you did. But I didn't dislike it.
Yeah.
Was it worth it?
10.
Okay.
Absolutely, hands down worth it.
8.5. It really is. For me, this week it's been this production really was an 8.5. Really liked it, but not really, really liked it.
Yeah, see, I think for me, this will be... Bryan Cranston's performance will be one of the performances. Bryan Cranston. His performance will be one of the performances that I will always remember. Him,
Okay.
Andrew Garfield and Angels of America,
Well, I'm not.
some other people.
I'm not disagreeing with his performance. It was good, but I don't think you can mark a whole show out of that personally.
I can, and I have. But luckily you've brought it down with your mean marking.
Okay, right. So while I work out the scores, which I have done already,
Because you're so clever.
I'm going to see another play tomorrow.
They're probably not correct scores. What are you going to see tomorrow?
I'm going to see a play called O Canada at the Festival.
The Festival.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that's the Landor Theatre or something.
Yeah, that's a nice pub theatre.
Yeah,
It's
so
good.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
Um,
you can have
so-
a nice drink before you go in.
Yeah, so I'm
And then
gonna
when you go and have your interview, you can get some pork scratchings.
probably just a one-act play.
Okay.
Anyway, when I get back, I'll tell you all about it.
Okay, great.
Great, and then after that,
And then I'm going to see the birthday party this week, so you've already seen it, so
Oh,
we'll
that's all-
review that later on in
yeah,
the week.
so we're going to do that later, so
Yeah.
that'll be a good one
James
as well.
is smiling, which makes me think, oh, this is going to be good.
This isn't right. All right, scores are in.
Okay, what have we got?
Okay, so it gets a star rating of. Let me shut that through.
So organised.
Star rating of 4.6,
Okay,
which puts it right up third.
Okay.
So just below Girls and Boys,
which was great.
and just above Romantics Anonymous.
Okay,
And
that's all right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I would have given it more.
I would have personally given it less. Because also I was doing a lot of comparison with Ink.
Yeah.
Because of the style of play. And
I feel like
I
we-
enjoyed Ink more.
I don't think we rated Ink high enough.
No, but it's hard when we're rating in it. But I think that's a respectable score.
Yeah. I think if we'd have had an interview, this would be like 5 out of 5. If I could have had an ice cream, I would have given it all 10. But I think we can both agree that Bryan Cranston was really brilliant.
Well done, Bryan Cranston.
Well done, Bryan Cranston.
We'll be tweeting you with our links to our show.
Yeah, please listen to
well,
this.
Please, can you share it?
Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston. And everybody else. Except
share it and I'll buy a dog and name it after you.
Oh, Vicky, that's a bit about...
Oh.
It does it to us every time.
I know. I don't know why we're surprised.
All right, then. Well, listen, I suppose I'll see you later in the week for our more reviews.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, the curtain's down, the theatre's dark, and that was 15-Minute Theatre. Good night, Vicky.
And thanks for having us, Bryan Cranston. If you're brave enough to have your theatre production reviewed, please contact us at 15minutetheatre@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter and please rate and review us on iTunes. Thanks for listening.